Here I am, Leon C, aka Morpheus. You are now listening to the Academy of Wow Men. And I am here to help you and open up your mind. Now, I feel the need, and this is actually feel, but of course I thought about it, the need to share this with you. And I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. This is not a threat. It's just a precautionary tale to warn you about something. You see the title. For you dog-loving dog owners. If you feel your feelings uncomfortable, take your ass somewhere else. Because we're going to get out of our feelings and we're going to speak about facts. There's a such thing as stand your ground. And there's a such thing as you defending yourself in case where you feel or think that your life is in danger in the court of law. If you know that your life is in danger, and it looks like your life is in danger, and through analysis and investigation, it's proven that you are in a compromised position, you are well endowed with the green light to defend yourself. And sometimes those things turn out to be very lethal, and someone gets hurt or completely destroyed, where they're no longer here. Now, I find more and more very curious of lately. There's even more dog owners than what it used to be. And here's a reason why, ladies and gentlemen. Listen carefully. There's a lot more single people and a lot more single women in the history of America. So you need a guard dog. And some of you need a defense dog. And some of you are just too damn lonely. I get it. I understand. Some of you claim you love dogs and you love pets, but really you're just lonely. So you gotta have a dog there because you can't get a man. Or you can't get a woman for some of you, but that's a different story when it comes to men. We're different. Men and women are different as to why we do things. Okay? So a lot of times when men get a dog, it's for a different situation compared to the woman. But however, in general, I'm moving around a little bit, so you may hear some noise in the background. Here's the general outtake here, and I didn't really finish my disclaimer. I don't condone violence. All right? And again, this is not to get up here and spew fear or hatred, okay? Or to talk about any specific person. I discuss topics and subjects. There you go. Hold on here. I got to adjust something or another. All right, we're back. A lot of you can't even control yourself. Why the hell would you go get a dog to control or to lead any damn where? A lot of you don't even have control over your own life, over your problems and your issues, but yet you have the audacity. You have the free will and the choice and freedom to go get another living being, which so happened to be a dog, but yet your life is upside down. You ain't thinking straight. You ain't living right according to your real potential, but yet you think that you have the responsibility over a dog. I've spoken about this before in a previous audio. You just have to take your sausage obese fingers and scroll down and see where that video is. When I've spoken about on the news, and actually it was just recently too, come to find out, it was just recently in this year 2022, where another dog attacked a child and mauled them to death. Another owner allowed their dog to get loose and take someone's life. And I've already explained to you what I think about human life. I am at zero tolerance, and I'm serious when it comes to people losing their life. I don't like that, and it doesn't settle well with me at all. Because you're stupid for allowing something like this to happen. See, the rising trouble that we are having in this country of poisonous minds that you live in is single people who think just because you can, you should. No different just because you can get a gerbil, get a gerbil. Because you can get a snake, you get a snake. Just because you can get whatever and buy it, you think you can. There was multiple, and I'm not going to go down that path because I can pull up history for you. There were owners of snakes, and come to find out they couldn't find the owner, and during investigation they end up being destroyed by their own snake. You know, they fell in the barn and a couple of pigs did some things to the owner. All sorts of stuff, because sometimes you're not smart. You don't think about your own self-being. You don't think about the consequences that you are putting yourself and or other people in. It is rather ridiculous. And if you have not listened to the audio that I made according to the other dog owner sort of situation, I've already explained to you how things can get out of control in a matter of seconds. Your life can change in a second. It can change in a second. See, there are some people that are not tolerating it. See, I told you before that I'm the type of guy who likes to stay prepared. I'm the type of guy who, I don't live in fear, but I like to be prepared for the unexpected, because you never expect for something to happen. You can only get caught off guard one time. I've explained to you already that I was visiting a family and they had their innocent kids outside around me while the parents was inside the home, and some bozo, uneducated, backwards, disgusting individual decided to be a lazy ass and own a dog that they could not control. That dog came around the corner and called itself growling at me and the 3 kids that was there. And I wasn't concerned about my safety. I'm going to take care of myself. I was concerned about the 3 kids that were sitting there. They couldn't move. They were only a few feet from their front door, and I had to tell them slowly to move back into the door while I stood still to defend them. And I had my blowhorn at the time sitting right on my hip, and I unlatched the safety and I was ready to go in a matter of seconds, but I did not want them to see that. They didn't have to see that as little bitty kids trying to live their life. But because a lot of you are ignorant and you're living a broken life because you are redundant, because you're sick and need therapy, because your life is unadjusted, that doesn't mean innocent kids and our people need to suffer your downfall. And things can get out of hand quite quickly. It really can. And I've also explained this. I don't want to repeat myself. Imagine you, the dog owner, you're in your house. Are you doing something stupid like you always do? Because that's what let me stop. That's what most of you commoners usually do, is stupid things because you don't think. And you don't tie your dog down correctly, or you don't lock your front door, and you turn your back because you're senseless in your wreckful life. And that dog gets loose. And imagine somebody who has the ability to defend themselves. And they have a blowhorn themselves. And they take your dog out right in front of your face. Right in front of you, you see this thing being laid down. And the bad part about it is, a lot of you, because you don't think straight, you're going to immediately become emotional and defensive. I know how you think. You're going to immediately be mad. Oh, why you do that? Why you pop my dog? And now you're going to want to go and defend your mutt for your own failure. It's amazing to me how you guys, it just amazes me, y'all mindset. And what will end up happening is now we're dealing with complete domestic dispute and or someone getting deleted. Because you'll run out there and you may have a blowhorn yourself and you want to defend your dog from this person who had to defend themselves from your failure because their life was in jeopardy, and they pop your dog. Now you want to go out there and act a fool. That's childish grade school mentality right there. That's grade A stupid. All because of a lot of you don't want to get therapy. You don't want to get help. You don't want to ask for help. You're tough. You don't want to spend the time or the money to go talk to a therapist. You rather sit there and talk to your pulpit pimp pastor instead. And your deceitful parents. But you don't want to get professional help in times of need and struggle. So you go get a dog and you cause havoc for everyone in the society or around you. And I've seen it happening again. You say, where was you at, Morpheus? What town and city were you at? It can be any time and any day, no matter where you are. You could be at the grocery store. You could be walking down the street. It don't matter where you are. It can happen at any time. You just have to be prepared for the foolery that can happen. So that's why it's called an unexpected situation. Once again, I'm out in public somewhere. Get into my vehicle. And it was around a resident area, so the dog came from somebody's house. It wasn't just a single mutt off of the streets. And I so happened to look over and I seen a lady hurry up and jump in her car. Like, what's going on over here? She jumped in her car real quickly. You hear the door slam, and I looked over and I noticed there was a dog with the collar on, walking all by itself, in the middle of the parking lot. I'm not a running type of person. Unless I really had to, unless it was a good reason to do so, because every battle's not meant to be fought. And we're not going to win every battle. Sometimes you got to just walk away and let it go. But this time there was not too many places to go. I had my items sitting outside the vehicle. I had fresh food sitting there. You'll say, well, why don't you feed the food to the dog? I'm not feeding some dog owner's mutt. With my hard-earned money and my food, that belongs to me. This is my resources. I should not need to suffer nor give anything of myself to someone else's mistake unless I want to, or I know the person personally. So there was no need to sit there and try to run and allow this mutt to ravage my food and my items that I paid for. Absolutely not. So I immediately went for instinct, as a man should. I had my blowhorn on me that day. And once again, I clicked the safety off and I'm waiting. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I wish that dog come over here. It's going to be dog food. I'm going to make a hot dog out of that dog. Excuse my French, mutt. Because clearly the owner didn't care about the mutt anyway. Clearly they was irresponsible themselves. And just imagine if this was somebody's mutt that maybe was in somebody's car. Maybe they was driving in the back seat. Maybe this was somebody's dog that took a stroll with them. And now here they are, some kind of way, because the owner was irresponsible, as 90% of them are, left the door unlocked, and this mutt is roaming free in a parking lot where there's kids and innocent people. You don't know what this mutt's going to do. You have no idea if this mutt has its shots. You know what it's going through, or if it's just going to lunge at you. And not a lot of mutts are going to be friendly to people, no matter what. See, and this is another thing that you must understand. Most dog owners will always say, my dog is friendly. I hear it most of them say that. My dog is friendly. My dog would never do that. My dog it's an irregular day while my dog is barking. The dog don't know half, if not most people that's around it, but you, smarty pants. You actually think people out on the streets are stupid for you to be dumb enough to say something like that. Oh, my dog is friendly. They're just barking today. They're just hungry. They're just doing that right now. They normally don't do that. No, your dog is not friendly. It's your guard dog. And it's doing what it comes naturally. It don't know people, so it's probably upset and are afraid. And it's going to attack the first moment that it gets a chance to. The authorities have to deal with this every day. Animal catchers have to deal with this every day. Dummies like you trying to convince the world that you did the right thing by being a dog owner. When instead of you walking the dog, maybe the dog should be walking you. As a matter of fact, it does, because when the dog gets loose and it bites an innocent child, your ass is going to jail. The judge is going to put you underneath the prison because you're stupid enough to be there. As a matter of fact, being dumb as you are validates you. You get the front row seat to a sentencing. Because you decide to take up the responsibility of watching over this dog. It's almost like, look at it like this. It's a loose firearm. That's what a dog is. It's a loose firearm just sitting there with no safety switch at all. And not only is it a loose firearm, it's a firearm that can think for itself. Just like when you go and you purchase a firearm, you get your registration and, your legal ties and paperwork and all the necessary things that you need to do to be responsible as an adult to own this particular piece that can give you a piecemeal in prison. That's the same as your mutt or your dogs. They have the potential to hurt somebody and hurt kids that are most times smaller than the dog. 5-year-old girl, 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy. They don't know what to do but run while your dog is barking senselessly at this innocent child. I'd rather, for the majority of you who are listening and you are a dog owner, take this as a warning. And those of you who don't have a mutt or a dog that you are responsible of, just understand those idiots are out here. They're out here. And they are woefully irresponsible. I've seen it happening too many times, and we look over it. We gloss over these situations as, oh, it's okay. No, this only happened last year. This isn't going to happen to me. I'll never do anything like that. No, that's not me. I'm responsible for my mutt. You're not even responsible for yourself. Half American people are on some type of medication, antidepressant, are blatantly sick in the mind. What the hell are we talking about here? Y'all can't even make a stable relationship with an average human being or the opposite sex, let alone you call yourself being responsible for a dog. You'd rather have a relationship with a dog instead of a human being. What kind of jokes are we playing on each other here? So just understand, for you who don't have a dog, just know there are dummies out here that you're going to have to protect yourself from, because you can be walking on by yourself or minding your own, and here comes somebody's dog. From nowhere. You have nothing to do with their stress and their struggles, but because their life is chaotic, here come their mutt. You have every right to defend yourself. To hell with how they feel. That's the lesson for the day. And y'all need to grow the hell up. This is real talk. Be responsible for your stuff. Or you find yourself in a very terrible situation where you find, to the extent of the law, or your dog will no longer be here. And probably you, if you put your face in the mix too, because you're irresponsible. Don't get emotional if somebody decides to put your dog down and you jump out there and now you're in the hospital too. Because you decided to be responsible for this thing that you decided to take into your life. And I know a lot of you funny people think too, well, it's like you just don't have, you call it a thing. You don't like dogs. You're an animal hater. I enjoy animals. I'm just a responsible adult. Pick out of it whatever you will. It does not give you the excuse to be irresponsible for something that can actually eliminate innocent life. And anytime there's innocent life involved, I am going to be pissed. So if you don't like that I'm defensive of innocent people and kids, go take your funny ass somewhere to the Bronx somewhere. Go to the farm and you stay out there with your mutt. So the dog can roam as far as it wants to and probably eat up your cattle and animals out there, not innocent people and our kids, since you want to be stupid. Y'all westernized bozos need to wake the hell up and start understanding what you're doing to yourself. The alternative of life should be trying to get therapy and getting yourself in order, not going to get an innocent. See what y'all, this is what y'all will do. And I'm gonna get off this audio. Let me show y'all something. Instead of you making a family, okay, or coming together in a relationship, y'all rather adopt and or go get a dog instead. Tell me where does that make sense when your society is already breaking down and becoming discontent and unbalanced already. You want to make it worse by bringing in other innocent things that have nothing to do with you and your stupidity. Now it's going to become something else that's going to blow up out of control. Because now you bring in you try to adopt a child into your hectic life and or watch kids into your hectic life because you can't have kids of your own for whatever reason that is. And now this child have to learn from you and your failing ways. And then on top of that, you're going to bring in innocent animals, dogs that are going to latch on to you and consider everybody else to be an enemy and a threat. How smart is that? I swear they took the majority of you modern people and body swapped you. When you was asleep, they took your brains and shipped it to a space saucer somewhere, some type of Martian ship. And the person that you are today is not that person anymore because y'all don't think. You don't think ahead of time. You got to deal with your mental illness. Deal with your problems head on. If not, you're going to have to deal with it later. And it's going to be worse because now it's going to blow up and hurt other people. You hear it on the news all the time. You see it all the time. But yeah, you still walking around. Well, it's a fun life. Life is good. Come here, doggy. Come here. Come here. Come here, Ralph. You keep playing on. Keep playing. Keep messing around. You're going to be the reason why Ralph is going to be a hot dog or ground beef. Keep on. And then you're sitting there getting sued or probably doing prison time because your mutt devoured somebody or bit them. And the judge isn't going to be lenient on you either. They're going to smack you with the entire book because you know what they're going to say? You decided to own this dog. Nobody told you to do it. You did. Just like you decided to purchase the firearm. You decided to do that. You decided to get the taser. You decided to do whatever else. You decided this stuff. Just like you decided to drive the car. It's your car. It's in your name. You as a driver. You're responsible. You hurt someone. If this don't make sense to you or you who don't have dogs, I can't help you. I can't. Because it got me now. It actually has me wondering now. There's some things that I really can't say. There's some things I really can't say, but it is completely uncomfortable and rather disturbing that an average person have to look around every corner, not for themselves, but for morons like you who need therapy. Then oops, I can't handle this big dog. I can't put him in the car. And he jumps out of the car because he sees a stranger and starts chasing him down the street. And that person just might have something to let your dog know that they mean business. And now you're standing there crying, looking stupid. No, they defended themselves. You are the dog owner. You are the irresponsible one. You assaulted them with your lack of responsibility and our lack of therapy. You know, years ago, people would usually go get a mate. You know, women would go get a man, not a Doberman Pinscher, not a Rottweiler, not a Great Dane. Not a dog that's 3 times her size. I seen one just the other day and I was getting ready to videotape it. But I don't want to put her on blast like that. And I needed her permission to do all that kind of stuff. I just decided not to do it. The dog was walking her. She was actually being dragged by her dog. Why the hell would you put yourself through that situation, people? It didn't even look right. It looked rather stupid being dragged by this dog. And all it would take for that dog is to break the leash or to pull hard enough and she'll fall down and the dog is on to the races towards someone. That's it for this audio. And I've done what I can to let you know what's going on. You need to understand these things and take it seriously because you only got one chance. Sometimes you have one chance. Let me repeat myself. Sometimes you only have one chance. You got one chance to defend yourself from that situation. Are you in a hospital and are paralyzed or missing an arm or got rabies or whatever the case is? You're hurt. You got to take time off of work, or your kids will be crying for you, or you will be crying for your kids. You only got one chance. And for the dog owner, you only have one chance to keep your dog under control. Because if your dog meet me, forget about it. I'm not making no promises and I'm not making no threats. But you know what? I am very good at defending myself and I am not a good runner. I'm not. And I know the laws. Y'all need to keep a leash on your BS, or that leash is going to be on you and you won't like it.